Good morning. Dennis coming at you again. I'm writing my new book this morning. I'm working on a page about how I was born, what I was born into. And my inner child is writing how it felt. It's so healing for me. I healed my inner child, oh, I'm guessing 30 years ago. I did a ceremony with the shaman who taught me. And I remember that day going to Bill's office. He said, Dennis, I think you're ready for your inner child ceremony. So I laid down in his office on a blanket, and he had a drum and a rattle that made like it was raining. And he took me on a journey into the inner earth where I found my inner child. He didn't tell me anything, it was just a journey. And he said, do you see anything in this cave that you're in? And I saw a little boy in the corner of the cave who was hunched over in the fetal position. And I said, yeah, there's a little boy that's trying to hide. He said, we'll go over and see if that, introduce yourself and see if that boy will take your hand. And I introduced myself, and the boy put his hand out, and I took his hand. And Bill said, now take that boy and put him on your shoulders and put his arms around your neck. And then shamanically, we did the journey back up onto the surface of the earth. And the ceremony was over. And the ceremony took maybe a half hour. So at the end, I said, thank you, Bill. This was good, because Bill and I had already been working over 10 years together, and probably more like 15. And he says, well, have a good day. And we wrote down my next appointment, and I went home. I was single then. The next day, I go into my business, and at my business, my employees and my partner were there at the business. And I walked in the front door, and they looked at me and they said, who are you? And I laughed. I says, what do you mean, who am I? I'm Dennis. I'm I'm the one that owns this place and runs it, and you're my employee and my partner. And no, 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 they said, you're not the Dennis we know. Now, I had not felt a change in myself, but these people that have been with me for years felt it and could feel it when I walked in the room. They said, who are you? That's because it was me and my inner child walking in the door. And my inner child was able to express itself. And that's what they saw. Instead of seeing Dennis, who was partial before that point, they saw a whole Dennis walking in the door. And since that ceremony and since that experience of seeing what happened to me, my inner child has reached out to me every now and then and said, "Hey, what about me? You you're showing that person a lot of love, but you're still neglecting me." And I had to do what Bill did for me, was to respect and honor my inner child so that my life could go smoothly. And today I've got to say, me and my inner child, I'm 75 years old, we are playing on the surface of this planet. We are in joy with everything we see. We see the hardships, we see everything that's happened, but it's great. It's great being me. That's because I am authentic. I am who I am, including that little boy that wants attention. So, you people may not know now, but I am a shaman. I was taught how to be, and I and my wife Marianne do these ceremonies for people. After after a few visits with people, I can tell if they're ready for this or not. And if they are ready for this, which they usually are, if they're in my circle of friends, they're old enough to be ready for this. My wife and I do a ceremony, and I'll do another video to talk about how to get in touch with us and what the process is to see if your inner child is ready to come to the surface and be with you and make you whole. So thank you for listening and writing this new book. It's not called A Slight Shift in Thinking. It's called Still Shifting, because every minute of every day I've got to keep shifting, because it's only one moment at a time. And I can tell you right now, I love me, I love my little Dennis, and I love you, and I love everyone because I love myself. Scripture said, because I've read the Bible cover to cover, said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Well, for ages and ages and ages, I felt that scripture didn't make any sense to me, because in my family of origin, if you said you loved yourself, they would say you were arrogant. Well, that's because they didn't know how to love themselves. So I never learned it. And Bill had to teach me. And the shaman ceremony brought my little boy up. And right now, I can tell you, I love me. And that's so beautiful. So have a good day. I'm going to do that. I hope you do too. Thank you. I love you. And bye.